got to begin in the NBA, where we continue to be on LeBron watch. A lot of people think it's going to happen this week. Jason, you think it's going to happen this week at some point, right?
Yeah, toward the end of the week. It's typically 8th, 9th, 10th is typically his range previously.
Right. So as we wait to see what will happen with LeBron, obviously we've talked about that a ton. But the Cavs, if they get LeBron, are going to not just get LeBron and nobody else. They may want to make some other tweaks to the roster. Could one of them possibly be LeBron's former teammate and friend, Anthony Davis? That's been speculated. Obviously, Anthony Davis is on the Wizards, right?
He was traded to the Wizards and then did not play after getting traded to the Wizards last year.
Right. He certainly doesn't want to play for the Wizards.
No, he has 2 years remaining on his contract, which is an important factor here.
Yeah.
In theory, this deal works out perfectly. The money matches to a T. Anthony Davis to Cleveland for Jared Allen, Max Strus, Dennis Schroeder, and some first-round picks. Probably 2, I would guess, would be the price.
2036 and 2038?
Somewhere down the line. We've talked about the Cavs looking to move Strus and Schroeder as their 2 best trade chips for wing help. Well, in this case, if you wanted to bring Anthony Davis, pray for his health. He has not been a beacon of health since he won the bubble championship with LeBron James. Has not played more than 60 games in a season, but obviously when he does play, a very, very high-level player. Jason G. Bull, in this scenario, let's assume LeBron's coming home. With getting LeBron and Anthony Davis together in tandem to pair up with Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, and James Harden in the starting 5, be the ideal, perfect offseason outcome for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Man, I told you earlier in the show, I got in a knockdown, drag-out argument with my brother and my dad about this. First of all, both of them was on board for it. And then when my dad got the information, I was like, listen, man, let me just tell you the ailments. Let me just list the ailments of Anthony Davis, from an Achilles to a back injury to a eye injury to just he has not been healthy forever. It's almost as if, like, we're talking about the Anthony Davis from New Orleans. We're talking about the Anthony Davis who was the 19-year-old kid that had all the upside and everybody's like, he's generational. Man, Anthony Davis is 33. The thought of Anthony Davis is very exhilarating. In practice, I can't tell you the last time I see Anthony Davis actually play. Even when he was in LA, LeBron was playing and Anthony Davis was out most of the time. Then he went to Dallas, and when he got traded, he played like 2 games and was out the whole time then. Anytime Mikey McNuggets has to have Anthony Davis with a Hawaiian shirt on the right-hand side, just goes to show you that man has not been playing. He's been on vacation. He got a regular silk button-up on and the season and career stats. What? This is wild work. If LeBron want to do it, Jason, it is what it is. If you want to get Bronny and you want to go get Anthony Davis, it is what it is. We got to do what we got to do. But I don't know about the basketball fit, because I just don't think that this man be healthy enough to. Can you count on that in the playoffs?
No. You can't count on him being upright in the playoffs. And I guess, like, I'm really sort of conflicted on this, because what is the purpose of trading for AD?
Facts.
Like, I'm
well, he's a better player than Jared Allen when he's healthy.
But are you trading for him because you're trying to lure LeBron back here? Or are you trading for him?
I'm not looking at it that way. I'm
this
looking
is
at
in conjunction. You don't do this deal unless LeBron is
right. Yeah,
obviously. This is
obviously.
LeBron plus.
But it was a roster fit. Let's go back to 14 when he came back in 14. It was a roster fit to go get Kevin Love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he wanted to play with Kevin.
Right.
Yes. And it was, I told you guys the story. He called Kevin an hour after the thing broke. Kevin was driving to the gym, pulled over on the side of the road. LeBron said, I want you with me in Cleveland. And Kevin said, okay. But it was a roster fit. Is AD really a roster fit upgrade here, truly?
Yeah.
I'm being honest. Like, I'm genuinely asking the question. Does it truly upgrade the roster in a way that Kevin Love upgraded the 14 roster, or are you just doing this because he's a big name?
What's the downgrade in the roster?
AD.
He's never healthy.
AD is never healthy. He wants to play power forward.
Yeah.
If they trade Jared Allen, they're going to be playing Evan Mobley, who is probably a better power forward. So now you got two power
But what
forwards.
does that even really mean anymore? I mean, defensively,
Well, you ask Anthony Davis what it means.
I mean, it depends on who you're going. If you're going against the Nuggets and Jokic, it means something significant. Now, are there a lot of those guys?
there's
Not
like
necessarily.
3 of those guys.
But it depends on who you're playing in the series.
But Evan Mobley is not going to D up Jokic?
There is a time, I think this time has passed, there is a time where the Cavs did not want to put Mobley in those situations.
Well,
on those
put him
really
in
big
those
guys.
situations.
But we're not far
guys,
into his career now.
This last year was a disaster, obviously, for Anthony Davis. The 3 years before that, he averaged 61 games a season. That's not like I get it.
That's pretty normal for stars in today's age.
Yeah, I mean, last year was a disaster, and could it go wrong? Sure. But the bottom line is Anthony Davis is a much better player than Jared Allen. He is a threat offensively. He's a shooter. Like what does Allen do better than Mobley?
Play.
I mean,
and with you, I'm with you, Bo. I would do this.
The Cavs are an old team that's trying to win in the next 2 years. So you get the better player, even if he's more injury prone, and take your shot, because your best chance to win is what's the best possible team I could put together. And to me, that best possible team is Anthony Davis over Jared Allen, even though Anthony Davis is more injury prone.
I want to mention this too, and leave that graphic up here, Ant. Anthony Davis has 2 years left on his contract.
Yeah.
This coming season and the year after. Donovan has this season and then a player option. It's expected James Harden to sign a 2-year extension.
Yeah.
LeBron has not said this is my last season. He very well could sign a 1+1 deal, which would be 2 years. There is a world where if the Cavs were to go down this route, turn Jared Allen, Max Strus, Dennis Schroeder into Anthony Davis, that in 2 years, that is your championship window. You know it is all in. No questions asked. No, go back to that. Leave that up there with the lineup with all 4 of these guys. That in 2 years, if it works or if it doesn't work, you are now starting your next level rebuild around Evan Mobley, who's still on contract. This feels like a way to go all in.
It would be I mean,
but I'm saying this feels like a way to go all in and have an off ramp where it's
go all in, get another shooter on minimum salary. You can find whatever. Maybe you can get the mid-level exception if
now can we get crazy?
Yeah.
And pull that back up. You make this deal. If LeBron takes the minimum, if he'd be willing to, you would still have access to the full taxpayer mid-level exception, which is up to $6.7 million.
I thought you said you couldn't get that unless Harden takes less.
Well, he is.
That's what I'm saying. In this scenario, Harden takes less.
Okay.
LeBron takes the minimum. You make this deal. You can still get a Rui Hachimura possibly if he'd be willing to come and sign on less than his expected value was before. You still have one other roster spot.
Now on your bench, you got him, you got Tyson, you got Merrill.
Millie Thomas.
And the
kid
Proctor from last year. Yeah.
And Thomas Bryant.
Okay, let's go. I get it. I get why you guys are hesitant about Anthony Davis.
I haven't decided yet. Like, I haven't really chosen.
But the bottom line is, if you knew Anthony Davis was going to be healthy for the playoffs, obviously a huge if. But if you knew it, in theory,
I would take him over Jared Allen.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think you got to take that chance.
Yes. And here's how I preface it. If LeBron come back, I'm gonna let you, LeBron. You gotta figure that out.
Yeah. If LeBron says go get Anthony Davis for Jared Allen, you go get Anthony Davis for Jared Allen.
Now you figure it out.
Yeah.
He know Anthony Davis. He understand what it is, and if that's what's going to be the thing. But what I do want to caution myself, because the same way we did with James Harden, right? Yeah. We said James Harden, he has some warts in his game. In the playoffs, he do some things. Maybe he disappears sometimes. And there was games where you be like, well, I see what they talk about with the James Harden stuff, right? You see what it is. But you accept it because that's where you are right now.
Yeah.
So just know that when you put all of these dudes together,
it could be a total disaster. There's no doubt about it.
It raises the ceiling and lowers your floor.
100%.
Yes.
But I think ultimately you have to raise the ceiling to have a chance to win. So that's why you do it.
Because the thing I worry about is, okay, if Anthony Davis is injured, now you're looking right now as constituted, you're like, well, where are we going to find another big at? Because now you're in trouble, because now, at least when you have Jared Allen, you got a big, you got a guy, and you don't have to even give him touches. You just say, hey, listen, play defense, run the floor, and you know what you're going to get.
Right.
With Anthony Davis, the ceiling is higher, but also you need to figure out how this works. Would I do it if LeBron wants to do it? Sure.
Yeah. That's it. That's the whole that we could debate it all we want. If LeBron says go turn Anthony Davis into or go turn Jared Allen into Anthony Davis,
then it is what it is.
You do it.
Well, you actually brought up an interesting. Do you really want to be taking directives from a 42-year-old LeBron?
Yep.
Not ideally, but
like,
do you have a choice?
Yeah, I think. Listen,
but they didn't trade Mobley, right? They decided they weren't going to trade Mobley. I don't know if LeBron had any influence. And you're right, they probably shouldn't be letting that. But I still think the team.
I think those days are over.
Okay, fine.
I think the days of LeBron dictating what franchises do.
You're probably right. But
they probably should be over.
You're right, but I would still say that Anthony Davis raises their ceiling, and that's all that matters to me.
I think there's a level of when you have a track record, right? And it's all about leverage. The track record is, listen, I've done this with 3 different teams. That carries something. If you, the front office with the Cavs, and obviously Koby Altman, what you was trying to do did not work. It flamed out tremendously in the playoffs. And you're at a point where you don't have any other choice but now. But the thing is, he's done it three different ways. Do you want to have him planning your whole life for the next 5-6 years? No, it's only for 2 years. And this is what was always going to happen when you brought back Kenny Atkinson. Because I don't trust Kenny Atkinson with winning on in his mind on the spreadsheet. They won the finals. Nah, bro, we need a whole nother mindset. We got to have, because LeBron, do you agree, is going to be the loudest voice?
Oh yeah,
yeah, he's a coach. I'm not gonna say that. I mean, but Kenny will lean into it.
I mean, Kenny does that now with Donovan and Harden.
Yeah. Right.
And I don't know.
All of a sudden, Donovan's going to be the young guy on the team if they had Anthony Davis and LeBron.
That's kind of crazy.
I mean, if you look at this lineup, let's just say the world, they get LeBron, Anthony Davis.
That is one old starting lineup.
It is old. It is fragile, but also it could work.
If they're healthy, listen, it's a huge if. There's a better chance it won't pan out than it will.
Yes,
but if it does, that's going to be a tough team to beat in the playoffs.
That is
in a 7.
2 bigs who are both all NBA caliber defenders, one healthy.
Yeah.
You have size. Look at that lineup. Once again, Bron at your and Bron's more of a power forward than a small forward now anyway. Just he'd play small forward in this lineup, but he's also like
he'd have a ton of size. That's for sure.
If
James Harden, you're big.
If you're healthy, is at this point is James Harden your worst starter?
Yes.
The one thing this lineup doesn't have, and it has, when I say 0, I mean 0. Any point of attack defense.
Yes.
Like none. 0, zilch, not a nothing, not an ounce of it. However, you have 2 of the best rim protectors in basketball, and Evan Mobley and Anthony Davis on the back.
And how are you going to, you got to outscore this team.
Yeah.
If this team's healthy, if you can't, everybody's playing one-on-one.
I mean, you either have to trade for somebody or you have to tell Jalen Tyson your only role is to guard.
That's it.
All you do is defend.
Yeah.
Like you pick up the best player on the other side.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't score 1 point. All you do is defend.
You know who it sounds like they need, Jason? You know the guy you just described?
Here it comes.
Dean Wade.
Dean Wade would fit in perfect right there.
Dean Wade and Isaac Okoro.
I think, actually, to be truthful,
Okoro would be a good fit, too.
Yeah, but how many minutes would those guys play when it matters?
These dudes are old.
No, but I mean in the playoffs, how many minutes are they playing in a game?
Mobley would have to. They should. And I don't know if he's willing to do it. They have to go to him in the offseason and be like, listen, you got to be the highest level skill set of Dennis Rodman. You have to go. You have to be
just rebounds and defense.
You have to be able to guard guards. I want you to be Scotty Barnes. I need you to pick people up from court. Like you need to be an eraser.
Can he do that? Can he pick up guards?
Mobley?
Yeah.
Better than most bigs, but it's not like he's. Dennis Rodman was 6'7" and really good laterally.
Yeah.
Mobley's good laterally for a 6'11" guy, but like him trying to stay in front of Tyrese Maxey, you're losing that battle 8 out of 10 times.
And Rodman was 4 inches shorter and a way better rebounder.
Yes.
If-
I mean, Rodman's maybe the best rebounder
of all time.
of all time. Yeah.
It-
in the conversation.
I will say this about this starting five, though. This is one of them things, and I kind of compare it to 2016. And I don't want to compare it to 2016. But when the Cavs got on, right, there was a level of it was demoralizing because it would just be like they're pouring baskets on us and we can't stop them. Like the spacing, whether it was Shump or it was JR, or was it Channing, or LeBron was just controlling the game. This team has the ability to have one or two dudes, like if Anthony Davis and then Donovan Mitchell just turn back the hands of time for like 2 quarters, the game's over.
But it could also go the other way.
Right.
Where Anthony Davis is hurt, James Harden's off the cliff, LeBron takes another big drop, and now he's just a pretty good player, and it could be a total disaster.
It could, yes.
But I think in the end, I'll take the high upside over the middle. A high upside, I'll risk the low downside over the middle.